In the last decade, Ohio State has had a lot of really good quarterbacks. Justin Fields, Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, and CJ Stroud are just a few. But there's one quarterback I feel that doesn't get the recognition he deserves, and that's Will Howard. So today I'm gonna dive into his story, like and subscribe for more content like this, and let's get right into it. Will Howard was born on September 24, 2001 in Westchester, Pennsylvania. He's the son of Bob and Maureen Howard, and he has a brother and two sisters. His brother actually plays offensive line for Kansas State. Howard played his high school football at Downingtown West High School. He also played basketball in high school. In his freshman year of high school, Will was a backup, so he only completed 1 out of 3 passes for 19 yards and 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. He also did not run the ball at all. As a team, in 2016, the Whippets, yes, that's right, the team name is the Whippets, went 4-6, so they were not very good at all. In his sophomore season, Will finally got to be the starter, and he completed 117 out of 190 passes for 1,447 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He also ran the ball 70 times for 206 yards and 6 touchdowns. As a team, that year the Whippets went 5-5, so once again, they were not very good. After his sophomore season, Will received an offer from Rutgers. He attended the school camp of Boston College, and he unofficially visited Pittsburgh. In his junior season, Will was playing pretty well before he suffered an injury. He completed 86 of 140 passes for 1,299 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He also ran the ball 27 times for 34 yards and 3 touchdowns. As a team, the Whippets went 10-3 but lost in the first round of the playoffs. After the season, Will unofficially visited Penn State and Syracuse and Yale, and he also received offers from Bowling Green, Minnesota, Cincinnati, and Temple. He attended Junior Day at Syracuse, but most importantly, he took an official visit at Kansas State and loved it so much that he committed to playing for the Wildcats. However, his best season came during his senior season when he completed 151 passes out of 238 for 2,543 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. He also ran the ball 68 times for 276 yards and 12 touchdowns. As a team, the Whippets went 13-2 but lost in the Final Four. Also, if you care at all about his basketball career, he was a 2-time All-Area selection and scored over 1,000 points in his varsity career. He also won quite a few awards for his football season, as he was named the All-Southeastern Pennsylvania Player of the Year, he was named All-State, and he won the Maxwell Football Club Pennsylvania Player of the Year award. In his high school career, Will completed 355 passes out of 571 for 5,308 yards, 48 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. He also ran the ball 165 times for 516 yards and 21 touchdowns. Coming out of high school, Will was rated a 3-star quarterback and ranked the 13th pro-style quarterback in the class of 2020. Will started the 2020 season as the backup to Skylar Thompson. Kansas State started out pretty well as they started the season 1-1. In their third game against Texas Tech, they ended up winning 31-21, but Skylar Thompson went down for the season with an upper body injury, which allowed Will to start the rest of the season. Things started out pretty well for Will as they won 21-14 against TCU and 55-14 against Kansas. Then they proceeded to lose their last 5 games of the season, including a 45-0 loss against Iowa State, which Will Howard was benched in. As a team, Kansas State finished the season 4-6 and did not make a bowl game. In his first season of college football, Will completed 90 of 168 passes for 1,178 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He also ran the ball 78 times for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think it's safe to say Will was not quite ready to play. Also, due to how weird the 2020 season was, Will was granted an extra year of eligibility, just like everybody else who played that season. In the 2021 season, Will was once again a backup to Skylar Thompson. The Wildcats won their first game of the season against Stanford 24-7. Then, in their 31-23 win over Southern Illinois, Skylar Thompson injured his right knee, which allowed Will to play the rest of the game. Will then proceeded to start their 38-17 win over Nevada and their 31-20 loss against Oklahoma State, but Will actually suffered an injury in the first quarter of that game and tried to return later in the game, but he wasn't physically able to. After that game, Skylar Thompson returned and he held on to the starting job. Well, that was until the second to last game of the regular season against Baylor, which they lost 20-10. Skylar suffered another injury when he injured his ankle, which allowed Will to start their regular season finale against Texas, which they lost 22-17. As a team, Kansas State went 7-5 in the regular season and won the Texas Bowl 42-20 against LSU. In the 2021 season, Will completed 30 of 55 passes for 332 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. He also ran the ball 32 times for 184 yards and 4 touchdowns. In the 2022 season, Adrian Martinez transferred in from Nebraska and took the starting job away from Will Howard. Because of this, Will did not get to play in the first 6 games of the season. However, in their 38-28 loss against TCU, Adrian Martinez suffered a lower body injury in the first quarter, which allowed Will to come in. Will then got injured in the third quarter, but he was able to return in the fourth. He once again was a starter against Oklahoma State, where they won 48-0. Martinez took over for another week before they played Baylor, and Adrian Martinez suffered another lower body injury, which allowed Will to come in. Will led them to a 31-3 win over Baylor. Then against West Virginia, he led them to a 48-31 win. Then against Kansas, in the regular season finale, he led them to a 47-27 win. Kansas State finished the regular season with a 9-3 record. This allowed them to make it to the Big 12 championship against TCU, where Will led them to a 31-28 win in overtime. That was enough to get them to the Sugar Bowl, where they played Alabama, but unfortunately, Will could not will them to a victory as they lost 45-20. Will improved a lot in the 2022 season as he completed 119 out of 199 passes for 1,633 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He also ran the ball 35 times for 22 yards and 3 touchdowns. In the 2023 season, Will finally got to be the starter. It was not all sunshine and rainbows because there was a lot of pressure from their 5-star freshman Avery Johnson, but Will held on and started every game. He led the Wildcats to an 8-4 regular season record, and as a team, Kansas State won the Pop-Tarts Bowl against NC State 28-19. However, Will did not play in that game because he decided to enter the transfer portal, and a few months later he decided to transfer to The Ohio State University. In the 2023 season, Will completed 219 out of 357 passes for 2,643 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He also ran the ball 81 times for 351 yards and 9 touchdowns. He was also selected to the second team All-Big 12. According to Will, his main reasons for transferring to Ohio State was because he wanted to increase his draft stock, which he didn't feel like he could at Kansas State. The 2024 season really couldn't have gone much better for Will. He He was selected the starter and led the Buckeyes to a 10-2 record in the regular season, but they made it to the brand new 12-team college football playoff and won in the first round against Tennessee 42-17. They destroyed Oregon in the Rose Bowl 41-21, who by the way had beaten them earlier in the season. They beat Texas in the Cotton Bowl 28-14. Then they won the national championship against Notre Dame 34-23. Will finished the season with 309 completed passes out of 423 with 4,010 yards with 35 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He also ran the ball 105 times for 226 yards and 7 touchdowns. He was also selected third team All Big Ten and was the national championship game offensive MVP. Will Howard finished his college career with 767 completed passes out of 1,202 with 9,796 yards, 83 touchdowns, and 35 interceptions. He also ran the ball 331 times for 1,147 yards and 26 touchdowns. This was good enough to get him drafted in the 6th round, 185th overall by the Pittsburgh Steelers. At the NFL Combine, he recorded a height of 6'4" and 1/4 inches, a weight of 236 pounds, an arm length of 32 inches, a handspan of 9 inches, a 20-yard shuttle of 4.33 seconds, a 3-cone drill of 7.13 seconds, a vertical jump of 31.5 inches, and a broad jump of 9 feet 4 inches. And currently he's in training camp with the Pittsburgh Steelers and preseason will start soon. It's very unlikely that he gets much playing time this season considering Aaron Rodgers is the starter, but I think once Aaron Rodgers retires, Will have a very good chance of starting, and he may not have success right away, but I do think he has a lot of potential to do really well. Pittsburgh hasn't had a losing season, I think, since like 2003, so as long as they get talent around him, he can probably pretty easily take them to the playoffs and maybe even further. He was able to do it at Ohio State, so who knows what he'll be able to do with the Steelers. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye!